Ooh. All right. Listen, I hated all of that. I hated all of that. So let's start again. I kind of overdid it on the coffee today. Hey, party people. Let's talk about how to build a made-to-order business, okay? And a lot of people who do made-to-order, they have a customer that comes in, have a sketch. They're like, can you make this dress? And they're like, okay. And they make the pattern or they drape and they make the dress and they sell the dress, okay? And then another customer comes in and they're like, can you make this dress, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the thing. That will not get you a lot of money very fast. And that is no way to scale into a proper business. At that point, you're a freelancer. There's nothing wrong with being a freelancer. However, if you want to grow your business, this video is about growing a business, okay? And in order to grow a business, you have to be able to scale. You have to be able to delegate. You have to be able to let employees take over some of their tasks that you don't want to do, or maybe you don't need to be doing because they're simpler tasks, so that you can scale, you can grow, you can do crazy things like take a day off once in a while. Freelancers have to be very strategic about taking days off. So let's talk about growing a business and not just freelancing dressmaking. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not what this video is about. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is define your customer. And if you called it, take a drink. Don't do that, okay? I am not supporting that. Anyway, if you follow my fashion design process series or any of my fashion design process classes on Patreon or anything, you know I'm always talking about figuring out your customer, figuring out your target, who your muse is. And it's no different for a made-to-order business. Just because you're customizing different pieces to your customers' needs, that doesn't mean that you don't have a piece of the market pie that you should be targeting. Okay, you cannot be all things to all people, especially not in the beginning. So I want you to pick a category that you want to go after. Maybe, bridal is a huge category in the made-to-order market. So maybe you're doing bridal, bridesmaid, quinceañera, prom dress sort of category. And maybe instead of all the bridal, you're doing bridal for plus size. Okay, maybe your aesthetic is really different. You are not David's Bridal. Maybe your shop is for the brides who didn't want a plain diamond engagement ring, but something a little bit different. Okay, maybe your bridal shop is for the lady who wants a black wedding dress. Okay, so pick a piece of the pie. Okay, maybe you want to do suits, tuxedos. Maybe you want to do suits and tuxedos for, say, big guys, okay? Or maybe just bottom heavy guys, because generally the market caters towards men gaining weight around their middle, their upper bodies in general. But there are a lot of guys out there who gain weight in their butt and thighs. So maybe you're adjusting your fit to cater to these fits as they get bigger. Pick a category and become an expert at it and grow your business according to your expertise. Organically expand. Let's get comfortable. I always like to sit crisscross applesauce, even in a chair. Okay, so it's like the one move in yoga I can do without groaning. The next thing you want to do after you've kind of figured out what direction you want to go in is build a collection. And you're like, Zoe, I'm not a wholesale business. What are you even talking about? Listen, okay. First of all, anybody who wants to get a job needs to have a portfolio of their work to show off what they're capable of to get the job. And so you also need to show people, customers coming in, what your quality looks like, what your style looks like, what your abilities are, the kinds of things that you're capable of doing. And so you're going to make some samples. You're going to make a starter collection. Is that the only thing you're going to be making for your customers? No, because this is made to order. But you are going to start with a base collection to show off your sewing quality for one, your fit quality for another, those kinds of things, okay? So think about, again, let's talk about the bridal, because that is a popular category. Let's say you want to do a bunch of bodices, okay? So we've got a halter, we've got an off the shoulder, we've got a sweetheart neckline, and then you have some skirts, mermaid, trumpet, A-line, ball skirt, okay? And you can mix and match to create a bunch of dresses, and so can your clients. Be like, oh, I want that neckline, except give me a cap sleeve and a ball skirt. Give me a halter at a peephole and a turtleneck on a trumpet, you know, and so forth and so forth. But it's easier for clients to do that when they have samples to look at, to visualize, especially if, you know, they're not really big on fashion and they don't know a lot of those words. They're just like, you know, the one that goes like this, you know, and you could be like, you mean this? And they'll be like, yes. Okay. And to have some samples in shop so that people can try them on when they're with you. Amazing. Do y'all watch Say Yes to the Dress? Okay, because that's not even a guilty pleasure, because I feel no guilt watching it. It is just like the one reality show that I'm like, it's kind of cool, because a lot of the time there's like happy endings. I love a happy ending where they go in and they find the dress that they want and they're so excited and it's pretty dresses. So, you know, that's my thing. In wedding shops, you know, maybe they don't have every single size, but they'll have a few sizes, and the bride will try on the size that's closest to their bodies. And then, you know, they pin and rig up stuff so that, you know, they can get the full effect. And you should have a few sizes like that. So make patterns, do size runs, do a few samples. You don't have to do 2, 4, 6, 8, but maybe have a size 2, maybe have a size 10, maybe have a size 16. And so you have like a nice range for your customers to try on in the store. Okay, and kind of get an idea as to what they look like. The closer you can get to giving your clients like a very real picture of what they're going to get, the more likely they're going to order from you. They're like, oh, it's no longer this scary leap like, oh, she's making this random thing, to, oh, I have a good idea of what I'm going to get. Okay. And so something like wedding dresses, you're going to want like appliques, embellishments, like have some hanging out so that you can pin them to her, you know, have some veils, have some hair accessories to give them the whole complete look. On that note, for that sort of thing, I would recommend that you do beading and that sort of thing on appliques on net, and then attach them to the dress afterwards. It's easier for alterations. It's easier for brides to change their minds, you know, that sort of thing, instead of directly applying beads, if it can be helped. Okay. Not all looks can get away with this, but if you can, try to figure out a way to do it so that it's like an attachable piece. Okay. But that's a side note. Okay. So define your customer, find your target, and make some samples. Because listen, in any business, any business, okay, you're never going to have as much time for research and development as you will before you launch your business. So before you launch, and while you're networking and going around town, we'll get to that in a second, you want to develop all these patterns and stuff. And so that later on, okay, or, you know, you hire a pattern maker to do it. You don't have to do everything yourself. Later on, you have these things set up to go, okay? And then you can hire sewers. You can do sewing yourself, okay? You're setting up a system, okay? Listen, when I was in school, there was this famous lady, Mrs. Beale, and I never got to take a class with her, but she... Oh, which soap opera does she work for? I think it was Young and the Restless. But she was their costumer, and then she also part-time taught draping classes at our school. And when she could drape a full-blown evening gown so fast. When I tell you this woman looked like a time-lapse video of herself, like she was so fast. And so she would have to make these costumes really fast, because you know how soap operas, they go really, really fast. That was Mrs. Beale, and she was famous because she was fast. And there are probably some of you, I have a lot of people watching these videos, there are probably some of you who are like, yeah, I'm that fast. And that's great. That's amazing. Good for you. Not everyone is that fast. And so it's like this struggle between, you know, charging customers your fair share for as much labor as you put in, but also like who's going to pay those customization prices? That's why you have to build a library of patterns that you can use as building blocks. So you're not starting from scratch every single time. And I know some of you just like, they just drape with the final fabric right on the form. But I mean, and that is one way of doing things if you're in a rush. But at the same time, if you can't use that labor again, okay, if you haven't figured out a way to document it, which is a pattern, so that you can make it again in the future, it's not a very efficient system, okay? So build the work, build the library of resources and instructions and tech packs so that you can send this off to other people, okay? You should be the one designing new things, working with your customers to design their gown of their dreams, the suit of their dreams, and be on that front end, be able to pull the style that's closest, the pattern, and then make the revisions, and then get people going on the rest of it, like the sewing, the finishing, the adding buttonholes, you know, those sorts of things that don't need your creative touch. Build the knowledge library. The tech packs are annoying, you know, building all this stuff, it can be tedious, but building that library is going to help you a lot in the long run. And you don't have to charge your customers like brand new pattern making dollars every single time. And so you're also going to be more affordable for your clients, which means they're going to come back and they're going to recommend you to other people. If you go to my interviews with industry professionals playlist, I have an interview with a swimwear designer named Lucy B. And she had a thriving swimsuit business. I haven't talked to her in a while, so I don't know what's going on with her, but she had built a swimwear business where she had all her blocks set up, you know, bandeau top, triangle bikini, one piece with a ruffle, like all these styles, cheeky bottom, full brief bottom. And she offered them in a lot of different colors. She would occasionally shop for new fabrics and post them to her stories, post them to her social media, and be like, I just got this amazing leopard print, this amazing snakeskin print. Who wants one and what? And people would just order and be like, they know all of Lucy B's bodies. They'd be like, oh, I want the snakeskin print in a bandeau top, cheeky bottom. And just order it like that. And she had all her patterns. She had all her size runs. She always made sure to source fabrics that were within a certain price bracket so that she could keep her margins. And she, you know, you have to like make sure that stretch fabrics stay within a certain amount of stretch so that the patterns still work. And then she would just cut and sew. And she had created this really efficient system so that if she wanted to, she could hire more people to do the cutting and sewing. She's taking the orders. The patterns are already done. And she could probably had a team of people cutting and sewing for her. However, she liked the sewing the best. She wanted to do all the sewing. And so she kept her operation small, not because it wasn't a very efficient system. That's just the way she wanted it. But the system was set up so that she could grow as much as she wanted if she wanted to. Suits, tailored suits. This is another great category where people like something made to order. Listen, there's a big difference between made to order and bespoke. Bespoke is when you go in and you get like 56 points of measurements taken, and even like, you know how most pant legs, like you draft a pant pattern and your pant legs are cut to and the whole garment is symmetrical. Like you go and get bespoke done and they measure each pant and your pant leg patterns are different from each other. That's where that whole like, do you dress to your left? Okay. That is like a whole rated NC-17 category of fashion history I'm not going to get into on this very rated G platform. But anyway, bespoke is like really, truly fitted to your body within a freaking millimeter of your life, okay? Whereas made to order is you have the blocks, you have the suit patterns. They are altered to fit you specifically, Okay, you go in for a fitting and they will fit you, they will tailor it to you, hem it to you, but bespoke is like a little bit extra. Okay, a lot bit extra. Okay, that's the difference. But if you're doing made to order suits, have patterns for, you know, single needle. That's a machine. I mean, single-breasted peak lapel, single-breasted notch lapel, double-breasted, you know, one-button tuxedo with the shawl collar. A lot of these kind of standard styles. And again, in a couple of different sizes, so people can come in, try them on, you know, get the fit fitted right. Get the fit fitted right. I'm not drinking this much coffee before I shoot a video ever again. Oh my God. Have the samples, shoot a lookbook, have amazing photos. You know, the thing about the weather warming up is like everyone and their mother wants to start riding their motorcycles again right past my house. Shoot a lookbook, take pictures, front, back, side, detail shots, okay? All the things. And yeah, they're going to come in and they're going to want special things. They're going to want a 20-foot train. They're going to want a bunch of fake flowers. They're going to want a lace shawl. Like, that's all extra. Okay. But the bodies are fairly standard. Number 3, charge materials separately. Figure out a way to let your customers know that some fabrics are more expensive than others. Okay, you could do this in a few different ways. You can buy the material and show them the receipt, let them know that you're not marking them up for materials, but they can see, oh, you chose the $500 a yard beaded lace. And so you're going to pay for that. And I'm not going to charge you extra, but you are going to pay for that. Versus somebody who might get the same exact silhouette, same exact sewing, but they chose a plain silk crepe instead. One option is to have swatch books and be like, what's your budget? These are this range budget fabrics. These are this range fabrics. Let me tell you something. I ordered blinds last month and it's kind of the same thing. Okay. He was giving me an estimate for the blinds and it was a lot more money than I expected, but also I was not surprised because I have really big windows. I live in a loft, my ceilings are high, and my windows take up 75% of each outer wall. Okay. And so just the sheer vast yardage of material I would need for my blinds, I knew that the price was going to be up there, okay? And the installation was going to be the same as anybody else. But in the construction, it's like sewing to hem, whatever. It wasn't a big deal. But just how much material I would need to cover my windows was a huge factor, okay? So the guy's telling me, okay, this and then this, you know, he's explaining to me why it's however many thousands of dollars. And so that's what you need to do with your clients is get them involved in like how the materials come into the cost. And so they understand, oh, well, I can order a prom dress for my daughter later on and it's not going to be as expensive because she's not going to get $500 a yard beaded lace. Number 4, have a contract. And I don't mean 17 pages of legalese, but you should absolutely have a document signed by both parties that states like, you know, order details. This is very important. The dates. The date that they ordered and finalized the order with all the details. The fitting dates. And then how many days after the final fitting, you're going to deliver the dress, okay? They cannot reschedule their fitting 3 times and then freak out when their dress isn't ready when they thought it was going to be because they didn't give you enough time between the last fitting and the date of their wedding or whatever, okay? So you need to make it clear to them, hey, I need X number of days after our final fitting to complete your dress. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And so this is the way the calendar is going to work. This is how much cushion you have to reschedule your fitting or to have another fitting if everything goes disastrously, that sort of thing. Okay? Have that contract. Talking about deposits is important. Okay? How much they pay on deposit, how much is due, who's going to pick it up. Hear all these horror stories of, oh, my sister's going to pick up the dress, but then the sister didn't realize there was a balance due on the dress. The sister can't afford to pay the remaining balance, and so sister doesn't pick up the who's going to pick up the dress, the balance is owed, how much it's going to be, etc., etc., etc. Let's talk about some ways to grow your business. Number one, network. Network all the time. All the time. Make friends, okay? Just make friends with people. It's like, I don't know how to network. No, just make friends. And eventually go around to the fact that you make suits for a living. Okay? If you make suits for a living, go to some fancy events where people are wearing suits. Go get yourself invited to your local country club spring fling and go and network and be like, oh, do you like my suit? I made it. I make suits. I love your suit. I have these fabrics that I think would look amazing. You know what? You would look amazing with your coloring, like with an olive linen sport coat. Okay. You should come by my shop because I really want to see you in an olive linen sport coat, and talk to those people. If you are in weddings, you should be networking with everyone in the wedding industry. Okay. Every wedding planner in town should have your business card. Caterers, people who do like venues, that do weddings, floral shops, tuxedo rental shops. They should all be referring to everyone should be networking. Because people, when people start planning weddings, they're like, talk to their caterer and be like, hey, do you know someone who could do flowers? Oh, I'm still looking for a dress, blah, blah, blah. When women get together and one of them is getting married, they love talking about the dress. Okay, I just did a bunch of gender stereotyping, but you know what? I'm a woman who loves to talk about wedding dresses just because I think they're so pretty. And so I would, if they were like, I'm getting married, I'm like, oh my God, have you gone dress shopping yet? What are you wearing? Do you have a picture of your dream dress? Because, hi, I work in fashion and I love pretty dresses. Network with everyone in your industry. Get to know everyone else who does weddings. And they talk and like, oh, you know what? I met this woman yesterday and she makes custom wedding dresses. You should go talk to her. What was her name again? Natalie. Yeah. What's her Insta? Yeah. So Natalie Bridal or something. Everyone talks. Go network. Beyond fashion people. Definitely make friends with fashion people, okay? They're going to be your stress relief, okay? Nobody knows about working with clients like other fashion people who work with clients, okay? The stories I have, I would only share with other fashion people who do custom work because they're the ones who know. If you know, you know. On that note, you should think about how you can partner up with people kind of related to your kind of piece of the pie and do pop-up events together. I heard of this pop-up. They did it in a bar, okay? It was a new bar, and so they were trying to get foot traffic. And so they cleared away a space for a few independent designers to sell their goods, have some drinks, do a little shopping. There was a food truck outside, and all the participants were marketing this event, and so they were just trying to reach out, and it was all a particular vibe. It was youthful, kind of young, party going, very social people. The clothes and accessories being sold at the venue kind of catered to that sort of audience also. They were drinking, they were eating, they were mingling on the street. It was a good event. Consider a similar type of event with the vibe that you want for the customers that you're trying to attract with kind of not even industries that are related to you, like the food and the drink and the fashion. Think about how y'all can come together and throw an event like that to attract more people. Everyone throwing in, the marketing on their social media and their email newsletters, spreading that reach, okay? And put together some events. Don't do it alone. So while you're thinking about strategically growing organically your business, you need to be listening to your clients and what they need. And maybe, you have a bridal shop and you want more of a one-stop shop. so that you have maybe more bridesmaid dresses. Maybe they want to come in with their dude, and so maybe you hook up with a tuxedo rental or a suit maker. Maybe you are offering, you're a tailor and you want to offer more casual looks because, you know, let's face it, more people, especially these days, have more reasons to wear more casual things than tailored suits. And so maybe you expand to more casual sport coats and blazers and trousers that are really well fitted, but still definitely have a more casual feel. Maybe you live in a place that has a long, cold winter, and so you start going into outerwear. You start with doing like coats that look good over formal clothes so that they're not throwing on a huge parka over their suit when they go to the theater in the middle of winter. I grew up in Alaska. I've seen a lot of that stuff, okay? And so you offer coats instead, okay? Think about how you can grow organically. While you're thinking of that, also think about how you can grow organically with less labor, but also still catering to your clients' needs. Like maybe you start buying like hair accessories wholesale for your brides, for your prom girlies, and start selling them in their shop. Maybe you start ordering shoes that work with your dresses. If you're a tailor, think about selling ties, kerchiefs, tie pins, that sort of thing, cufflinks, partnering up with a shirt maker. Maybe you start making shirts. Also think about selling service packages. Some of the appeal of these made-to-order, custom-order sort of places for people is not just the fact that you're going to get a dress according to your specifications, but the whole premium catering service. You could do premium packages with extra fittings for the nervous bride, dress delivery, jewelry rental. Create some sort of like premium package that really feels like luxury to your market segment. You know what? Just throw it out there. See who takes it. Okay? This is something that I learned on Patreon is they're like, you know what? Just have the expensive tier and some people will go for it. I mean, don't go crazy. It's like, oh, $5,000 a month for nothing. Not like that. Not like that. But something that is a bit more expensive and maybe you think no one's going to go for it, people will go for it. Okay, people who want that service and will pay that market, there will be people who do it. So maybe you just have 1 or 2 luxury customers a month. That's still good. That's still good. Okay, so think about how you can create a better sort of customer service, luxury, specialty experience for your customers. Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new today. Share your thoughts with me and your video requests in the comment section below. I've moved my private video consults to a new platform called Calendly, and I'll drop a link in the comments below so you can come find me if you need to consult with me on your future business. Share, subscribe, all the ways you show me love, and I will see you in the next video, slightly less caffeinated than I am today.